G'day, Jason here. This is Blaine Gaskets. I'm out in the workshop this morning and I'm doing a bit of routine maintenance on Elizabeth, my 1972 Triumph 2000. While I'm here, I thought I'd bring you along and we'll have a bit of a discussion about a phenomenon called the Triumph Twitch. Now, it's not some funky 60s dance move. You see me busting a move, call me a cat because it means I'm drunk. So stay tuned and let's have a discussion about the phenomenon that is the Triumph Twitch. Okay, a little bit of background. Elizabeth is my first Triumph. It's also the only Triumph I've ever driven. So if you've been around these cars for a little while, you're well aware of the Triumph Twitch. I wasn't. So the first time I encountered the Triumph Twitch, I was backing out of a corner at about 80 miles an hour and the whole back end gave a bit of a wiggle. Now, normally I'm a bit of a fan about rear end wiggles, but not a motor car. So it was a bit disconcerting. So I took it home and I went hunting around for something that was either broken or going to fall off. And then I started looking into it and I found out there is a thing called the Triumph Twitch. There's not a lot I could find on the interwebs about the Triumph Twitch. So I thought I'd do a little video since I'm doing some maintenance under here, explain what the Triumph Twitch is, what causes it and what you can do about it. So it's all to do with Triumph's independent rear suspension and the way it works. So I'll bring you on in here and we'll explain some of the components that make up this independent rear suspension and see what causes this twitch. Right, here we are under Elizabeth. This is her suspension. It all hangs off a rather substantial K-member. Swinging off that rather substantial K-member is an equally substantial trailing arm which carries springs, shock absorbers. Elizabeth has adjustable air shock absorbers. They were on the car when I got it. Running through that is this drive shaft, which goes down to the firmly mounted hub. Now it's this drive shaft that we're going to talk about. So I'm just going to take off the grease covers and things here, and I've already unbolted the thing. I'm going to show you what that drive shaft consists of. Okay, with the cover removed, we'll get a better look at this drive shaft. Now, this drive shaft is telescopic. It's got two components. This part is attached to the hub. This part swings off the universal joint on the diff. So as the car is moving and there's forces come into play, we've got centrifugal forces, gravitational forces, there's torque, there's twist, things are moving under here. So there has to be some give. So this give is achieved with this drive shaft being telescopic. I'll just take this down and demonstrate that this shaft, exaggerated of course, slides up and down. As the suspension's moving, this shaft can move. Now it's in this movement that creates the Triumph Twitch. So what happens as you're powering on, the torque can lock the splines and hold that in position and stop it from telescoping. So when you're on a straight piece of road, it's not noticeable. It would still do it, but it's not noticeable because when you release that torque by lifting your foot or changing gears, you're going in a straight line, there's nothing to change. But if you're banking into a corner, like a long sweeping bend or going uphill and you're giving it the gas and this gets to a point and locks up, it will stay in that position until it's released. Now, if you release that as you've hit a straight and the suspension needs to alter, when you release that, it jumps back into its position. So what that does is cause a wiggle in the back end as it resets. That's the Triumph Twitch. Okay, so that's my understanding of the Triumph Twitch. Now there are some things you can do to eliminate the Triumph Twitch. Most of them are very expensive. There is a chap doing a BMW conversion where you can bolt a BMW rear end in the back of your Triumph. That would be expensive. There's all sorts of things on the internet where people are changing some components in here with Datsun components. Now that seems very popular, I'm sure that works well. You can buy some very expensive new drive shafts that contain modern CV joints. They would work, they would eliminate the Triumph Twitch. You can reduce the twitch by putting in a heavier spring. That will reduce the travel in the suspension. So reduced travel when it resets and causes a twitch would be a less severe twitch. For me, I'm not interested in doing that. You know, I'm sort of like Elizabeth to be built for comfort. And we've got some pretty bouncy roads around here, and stiffening the rear end of the car would make that uncomfortable. So my take on the situation is this. I consider this to be factory fitted personality. It's part of what the car is. It's a 50-year-old car. I'd expect it to drive like a 50-year-old car, and it does. So I'm happy with that. And I'm going to continue with my maintenance program. I'm going to pull these shafts apart. I'm going to clean the splines. I'm going to re-grease the splines so they move freer. That in itself will reduce the Triumph twitch. And I'm going to go out and enjoy driving my car, because doing miles makes smiles. Hooroo!